Welcome back to the Healing Space. I'm Maya Sol. Today's episode is called You Keep Loving Potential Instead of Reality. One of the most painful things we can do is fall in love with who someone could become instead of accepting who they are today. We see their potential, their possibilities, and sometimes we hold on so tightly to that vision that we completely ignore reality. We ignore the red flags. We excuse the behavior. We convince ourselves that eventually things will change. But what if they don't? Let's talk about it. Many people are in love with the relationship they're experiencing. They're in love with the relationship they imagine is coming. They're waiting for more consistency, more effort, more communication, more emotional availability. They stay because they believe one day things will finally become what they've always hoped for. But healing requires us to ask a difficult question. Am I loving this person? Or am I loving my idea of who they could be? Because those are two very different things. I want to tell you about a young woman. She met a man who was charming, funny, intelligent, and charismatic. She could see his potential immediately. And because she saw his potential, she overlooked his reality. When he stopped communicating consistently, she made excuses. When he broke promises, she believed he'd do better next time. When he neglected her needs, she focused on his good qualities instead. Then years passed. The man never became who she hoped he would become. But she kept waiting. Not because of who he was, because of who she imagined he could be. She began to think, did his representative show up? And sadly, that's where many people get stuck. Potential can be dangerous, not because it's bad to believe in people, but because potential can blind us. Potential can keep us attached to relationships that are no longer serving us. Potential can convince us that the future is more important than the present. But reality matters. Reality is what you're experiencing today. Reality is how they treat you right now. You cannot build a future on potential while ignoring reality. Let's talk about the friend who never shows up. Maybe it's not a romantic relationship. Maybe it's a friendship. You keep telling yourself they've just been busy. They've got a lot going on. But months turn into years. You're still the one reaching out. You're still the one keeping the friendship alive. The friendship isn't surviving because of mutual effort. It's surviving because of yours. Yet you remain because you're holding on to what the friendship could be, not what it actually is. Many people stay stuck because of two words. What if? What if they change? What if they finally appreciate me? What if they become the person I know they can be? The problem with what if is that it keeps us living in imagination instead of reality. Healing requires us to stop asking, what if? And start asking, what is? What is this relationship showing me today? What am I actually experiencing? Because reality leaves clues. Why do we keep loving potential? Sometimes it's fear. Fear of starting over. Fear of letting go. Fear of admitting we've invested years into something that may never become what we hoped. Sometimes it's because we've already invested so much time. We think, I've already come this far. I've already given so much. I don't want to start over. But staying in something unhealthy doesn't make the investment worthwhile. It simply makes the pain last longer. Healing begins when you stop romanticizing potential and start paying attention to patterns. People can absolutely grow. People can absolutely change. But you cannot build your life around someone's possibility. You must build your life around reality. Ask yourself, am I in love with who this person is today? Or who I hope they'll become? What am I tolerating? because of potential. If this person never changed, would I still choose this relationship? That last question is powerful because it forces you to stop focusing on who they could become and focus on who they are. Potential is not a relationship. Promises are not actions. Possibility is not reality. You deserve to be loved in the present. If you've been holding on to someone's potential, I want you to remember this. You cannot heal while living inside a fantasy. You cannot build a healthy relationship on hope alone. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve reciprocity. And most importantly, you deserve someone who shows you who they are through their actions, not just their potential. Choose reality. Choose peace. Choose yourself. I'm Maya Soul. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and most importantly, keep choosing you.